Hey guys, it's Quinn. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 locations in a Bond film. Now, I know that at times it is hard to distinguish between set and the actual location. So for this list, I'm only doing places that are confirmed to be used in the movie or at least have ties to the film. So with that, let's take a look at some honor mentions very quickly.
What a view to a kill.
Number 10. The use of St. Petersburg in Goldeneye is probably the most interesting location in the entire series to be used in a Bond film. Up to License to Kill, no Bond film had a scene shot in the city, and the country for that matter. Pegging this at number 10 is more of a commemoration of the fact that the Cold War had ended more than anything else. I really do enjoy how they chose to use St. Petersburg, though. For where they were at that point in the movie, the filmmakers had the choice of using literally any city in Europe. But because the filmmakers took a risk and went with Russia, that is why St. Petersburg gets the number 10 spot on my list. Number 9. The use of London in the pre-title sequence of The World's Not Enough is something I very much enjoy. Up to this point, London had only really been shown in the Q Branch, M, and Moneypenny scenes. This is the first film that really uses any country in the British Isles to their advantage. I also think it adds a little to the British spy aspect, which at times almost feels like a second thought. Anyways, the use of it here is very fitting, and that is why I enjoy it very much. Number 8. Vienna and Moonraker is a location that I very much enjoy because it reminds me of the old and rustic feel of the locations in the Connery era. I think the filmmakers used the vastness of the city to their advantage and really showcased the city, I guess, in a sense. The use of the boats is something that I also very much enjoy, and although the chase itself is okay at best, the location that it is based around is a real vocal point. In a film that really went hard on the sci-fi and camp aspect, it is nice to have this really beautiful location. Number 7. Shanghai in Skyfall is a location that, at least in my opinion, is used more for the looks than for the actual plot. Now don't get me wrong, Shanghai is a beautiful city that is really used to the fullest in this film, but I believe that the relevance to the plot is small. I'll give you an example. In Goldfinger, every place that they went, whether it be Switzerland or Kentucky, made sense for where they were in the movie. But for this, it just seems like a little random. And don't get me wrong, when I first saw Skyfall, this was my favorite scene until the end, of course, in the movie because of its location. So even though I've been complaining about it a lot, it is still a fantastic location and it deserves to be number 7 on this list. Number 6. The use of India and Octopussy is something that I adore about this film. The vastness of the country as well as the population and culture are pretty well seen throughout the movie, which is something that I really like. I don't want to spend too much time in this one, but I just really enjoyed it because of its overall beauty. as well as how the culture affects the characters, as well as even the gadgets. My question to you is, in what other place could Bond get away with using a crocodile suit? Yep, that's what I thought. Number 5. The Swiss Alps in For Your Eyes Only is something that I adore, and really throws back to the use of the same setting in The Spy Who Loved Me and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It adds a whole new style of chases and action scenes, which I think really adds a lot of fun to an otherwise really gritty and down-to-earth film. For some reason, all the actors just seem, at home during this film. Although this may not be Roger Moore's best performance, there's no denying it is fun to see him working around this setting. The cheesy score also helps. It is also just a marvelous location. Number 4. Okay, before you yell at me for this one, hear me out. Outside of the Bond universe, an ice hotel is the coolest thing that has ever existed. So if you take that location and shove Bond into it, it makes one of the coolest locations in Bond history. Yes, every scene at the Ice Palace is stupid, and yes, it all looks fake, but it's just cool to look at. Now, I know places like Istanbul and the Caribbean may be better places to shoot a movie, but for this one film, just this one film, it matches the movie perfectly. I know it's stupid, but I enjoy it. And it's actually probably my second favorite thing in this film, besides the pre-title sequence. Although you may disagree with me, I think this is one of the best locations in any Bond film. My thought exactly, Brosnan. Number 3. The Spy Who Loved Me and Egypt go together like Steven Berkoff and overacting. This film, more than any other, blends the location and the plot to perfection. I honestly could not imagine The Spy Who Loved Me without the use of Egypt. The country itself is also beautiful. There isn't too much to say about it, except that it's just a fabulous place to shoot a movie. It feels so open, but at the same time it feels like you could travel across the country in half an hour. I don't know how to describe it really. It's just the whole feeling of Egypt just feels right for this film, and that is why it's number 3 on this list. Number 2. On Her Majesty's Secret Service in the Swiss Alps was originally my choice as the best location in any Bond film until only a few days ago, because of the amount of potential that this location has. Bond and snow go hand in hand, and the Swiss Alps is always a winner in the Bond franchise, and overall, for some reason, it almost makes everything feel more prestigious. I don't know how to describe it. It's just that watching the scene in the Alps always makes me feel like something bigger and more important is happening. Maybe it's just because of how high they literally are. My views on this are around the same as they are for For Your Eyes Only, except that this feels a little more prestigious. At any rate, it is just a great location. Number 1. The use of London in Skyfall is a stroke of brilliance. As an anniversary film, having the movie based in London is literally the smartest things the producers could have done. Although I believe the location in On Her Majesty's Secret Service is more beautiful, I think that this one makes the most sense, and that is why it beats out On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Having the location of a Bond movie located where Bond lives is just so good because it almost makes me feel like if I go over to London, I'll just see Daniel Craig run by me one day while I'm in the tube. It also makes everything feel more realistic, having just random strangers in London be on the big screen. It makes me feel like I am part of the Bond movie more than any other film, and that is why London is the best James Bond location. So how was I? Was I too kind to For Your Eyes Only in Switzerland, but too harsh on the likes of Istanbul and Las Vegas? What's your guys' views on the Ice Palace and Die Another Day? Which use of London is the best in your opinion, and why? Leave a comment below, like, share, and of course, subscribe. Oh, and the reason the pre-title sequence of The Spy Who Loved Me didn't make the list is because it's just like a 2-minute scene, and once it's done, it's done. Don't worry, it will be on the pre-title sequence list, but that's later. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, and happy Easter.